All right. Welcome to our Inspiration Book Reading Club. We're reading the book called Goals by Brian Tracy. And today we're going to be concluding this chapter and starting very soon with the chapter number 9. So we are basically on the last end of chapter number 8, where we start today talking about the bundle of resources. Yesterday we were being guided on how to start from the beginning, the very beginning. That's what this chapter is all about. So here we are. See yourself as a bundle of resources, capable of doing many different things. You have a wide variety of skills, abilities, knowledge, talents, education, and experience. There are many jobs and tasks that you could learn to do extremely well. Never allow yourself to get locked into a particular course of action, especially if you're not happy with the way things are going today. In mentally starting over, as though you were beginning your career anew, look deeply into yourself as well. What good habits do you have that are helping you and moving you towards your goals? What bad habits have you developed that may be holding you back? What are your very best qualities of character and personality? What are your weakest qualities? What new habits and quantities do you need to develop to get the very most out of yourself? And what is your plan to begin developing them? What bad habits do you need to get rid of and replace them with good habits? It's extremely important to know, firstly, do we have our goals? Now, again, I repeat for people who are coming in and who've forgotten, we've been told very categorically we cannot have just goals like I want to be abundant, I want to be rich, I want to provide for my family, I want to get the best of education, I want luxury. Brian Tracy says that is common to every single person in the universe. Nobody will say, I don't want luxury, I don't want this, I don't want my children in the best of place or my family. Everybody wants the very best. And that is 95% of the population. 5% are people who have goals with things to do, looking into themselves, having a plan of action. And looking into themselves that what are my highlights, what are my negatives, what are my limiting beliefs, what are the new habits I can create, what are the things I have to let go. Until we are renewing ourselves, understanding our limitations, we are not on a progressive path. This is what Brian Tracy has been repeatedly realizing and making us feel. So again, he talks to us about another great thing. So from what do? We've talked about our goodness and our badness. Now go from good to great. Jim Collins, in his best-selling business book, Good to Great, says that you must be willing to ask the brutal questions of yourself and of your business if you're going to identify and remove the obstacles that are preventing you from moving ahead. What are some of the brutal questions that you have to ask yourself before you launch wholeheartedly towards your goals? Whatever I do strategic planning, we start off with the session with 4 questions. First, where are you now? Now, whether you're in a job, whether you're in a flourishing business, or whether you're in a business that is struggling, or whether you're doing no work at all, very important to understand where are you right now. We start off with the very first session with 4 questions. We gather data, information from every part of the company to develop a crystal clear picture of our starting point, especially with regard to sales, market position, and profitability. Second week, we ask, where would we ideally like to be in the future? We idealize and practice future orientation. We imagine that we can make the company into anything we like in the years ahead, and we create a perfect vision of what the company would look like if we were successful in every aspect. Third, we ask, how did we get to where we are today? What did we do right? What would we do differently? What have been our biggest successes so far, and what did they occur? Why did they occur? What have we failed at? And what were the reasons for it? As George Santana wrote, those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat itself. Now, again, we have been reminded here that we talk about an upward graph and a downward graph. If we keep spending exactly what we're earning with no saving, we are going to go downwards, because they talked about money does not increase unless it's sparked into the riches. which they were told very categorically, gold, gold, silver, Bitcoin, something strong, not just anything else, right? So if we do not learn from our mistakes, we are going to go in downward direction. And if we start saving bit by bit, in slight edge we talked about that we are only going to go upward. Now back to the goals. The fourth question we ask and answer is always, what do we do now to get from where we are to where we want to go based on our experience? What should we be doing more of or less of? What should we start doing that we are not doing today? What should we stop doing altogether? Put together your own strategic plan. The good news is that when we have answered the first three questions accurately, the strategic plan or blueprint comes together more easily than if we were trying to plan without being clear about where we were and how we got there. There's an old saying, well begun is half done. Doctors say accurate diagnosis is half the cure. Taking the time to honestly evaluate each part of your situation before you launch towards your goals will save you months and even years on your journey. In many cases, it'll force you to reevaluate your goals in the light of superior analysis and knowledge. It'll dramatically improve the speed at which you can achieve your goals once you get going. Now let's sum up the chapter in 6 bullet points. Start at the beginning is the name of this chapter, number 8. The first thing we taught is determine the reality of your current situation relative to your major goals. Where are you now and how do you have to go? And in this, we were told very categorically to think about our physical aspect, our emotional aspect, our financial aspect, and all these aspects, we had to think about them, right? Number 2, apply the zero-based thinking principle to every area of your life. What are you doing today and that you won't get into again if you had to do over knowing what you know now? So again, let me remind you, this is what we read yesterday, that we've started something, right? With the knowledge that we had. Today we know so much more or whatever we know. If we were to start that process all over again from the beginning, how would we do it with the knowledge that we have right now? That is zero-based thinking. So that let go of the past baggage. What is the knowledge that you have? Number 3, do a complete financial analysis of your life. How much are you earning today? How much are you worth? What are your goals in these areas? What is your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? What is your plan till how many years do you have to earn and what speed do you have to earn? And what is it that you want to save? What is it that you want to spend? This has to be planned, a financial analysis of your life. Till what age do you want to earn? Number 4, do a complete skills analysis on yourself and your work. Where are you good? What do you need to improve? Number 5, determining exactly how much you earn each hour. We talked about this investment in ourselves, return of our investment. What is it that you do to earn that amount? What do you have to do to increase your hourly rate in the months ahead? We were guided that we whatever our salary or our profits that we take away home, in 12 months, we divide that by what we take, divide that by the number of hours or the monthly money that we get in hand, that divide by the number of hours that you're working. And then we realize our hourly rate. इसमें इतना मिल रहा है, this is what we must do to get this much. So if I want to quantify and increase my 1 hour, what is it that I need to do? Number 6, imagine your future was perfect in every way. What would have to happen to make that vision a reality? So we were told to visualize a future which we want to visualize 5 years, 10 years from now, and then go backward and plan that, okay, this is the financial goal I have, this is the spiritual goal, this is the emotional goal, this is a relationship goal, blah, blah, blah. And what do I do to start investing in that dream from now? They said that people are enough talkers, but people aren't doers. So if we want to achieve our goals, firstly, goals are dreams with a deadline. When they are dreams with a deadline, then they come with actions. And with actions, we do our to-do list. When we do our to-do list, and if there's accountability, measurability, then we reach our dreams much faster. Without these steps, nothing works. Now, when we talk about accountability, we've moved on to chapter number 9, which talks about measure your progress. Jean Deere Brewer says, there is no road too long to the man who advances deliberately and without undue haste. There are no honors too distant to the man who prepares himself for them with patience. So we have to understand this. That we were also given the example that imagine we are driving in a highway or in a colony with complete fog. What speed can you drive at? You can't see, there's zero visibility. How would you drive with the full blinkers on, everything on, and yet you'll be driving at a very slow speed? That is exactly what people who say that I want to be abundant, I want to be rich, I want to be happy, I want to be joyful, which is 95% of the population. 5% clear the fog and they see this is where I want to go. This is my expertise. This is my calling. It's not societal pressure. It's something that I enjoy. What I enjoy, I can give my 200% because this is my calling, not somebody else's calling. It's not somebody else, like not my wife's, not my husband's, not my parents, not my children's dreams, my dream. And when I clear that fog and I see this is my advantage, this is what I can learn, this is what I'm capable of, then I go in the direction. I can drive much faster because I am super clear and I will know where I have to go. Otherwise, I'm taking out the car. I know I want clarity, but I don't even know where I'm going. And the fog is there. So obviously, I will be exactly where I am. In fact, may not proceed at all. Now, Brian Tracy says, you have incredible mental powers that you habitually fail to use to their full extent. By systematically setting goals for your life and making detailed plans to achieve them, you will save yourself years of hard work in reaching the same level of success. Goal setting enables you to use vastly more of your thinking powers than the average person. Your conscious mind is the head office of your life. Its role is to deal with the information in your environment and then to identify, analyze, compare it against other information, then to decide what actions to take. But it is your subconscious mind that contains the greatest powers that can enable you to accomplish vastly more than you ever have before. At least 90% or more of your mental powers are below the surface. It's essential that you learn to tap into these powers to motivate, stimulate, and drive you forward towards the achievement of your goals. So program yourself with goals. Your subconscious mind functions best with clear goals, specific tasks, deliberate measures, and firm deadlines. The more of these with which you program your subconscious computer, the better it functions for you, and the more you will accomplish in a shorter period of time. As you set your goals and begin moving towards them, it's essential that you establish a series of benchmarks or measures that you can use to evaluate your progress day by day and hour by hour. And this is extremely important. Do we really measure and do we really celebrate our achievements? Because if we are doing it day by day, hour by hour, there's accountability, there's measurability. The more clear and specific the measures you set, the more accurate you will be in hitting your targets on schedule. Your subconscious mind requires a forcing system composed of deadlines that you have imposed on yourself for task accomplishment and goal attainment. Without a forcing system, it becomes easy for you to procrastinate and delay and to put off important tasks until much later, if at all. And that later never comes because you're always stalling, karenge, karenge, karna hai, 1 year, 5 year, 10 years. People who are very young here, you have the power of time. You can do, and even for the others, yesterday only we learned, we are never too late. Whatever age we are in, however old we are in, 20, 30 years later, this will still be an advantage rather than starting that time. So it doesn't matter. Now, 3 keys to peak performance. Which are these? The 3 keys to peak performance in achieving our goals are commitment, completion, and closure. When you make a firm commitment to achieve a particular goal and you put aside all possible excuses, it's very much like stepping on the accelerator of your subconscious mind. So, again, excuses are very natural with a human being. I can't do this. I have this. I can't do this. I have that. I have limiting belief. I have other commitments. I have this. I have that. But if you have made a firm commitment to achieve a particular goal, that could also be goal setting. That could also be a goal, which is the most important thing this book is teaching us. Then everything is set aside. And then that accelerator goes on and a subconscious mind gets activated. Then we will be more creative, determined, and focused than ever before. Great men and women are those who make clear, unequivocal commitments and then refuse to budge from them no matter what happens. Completion is a second ingredient in peak performance. There's enormous difference between doing 95% of a task and doing 100% of a task. In fact, it is very common for people to work very hard up to the 90 or 95% level and then slack off, and delay the final completion of the task. It's a temptation that you might fight against. You must continually force yourself, discipline yourself to resist this natural tendency and push towards a completion. Nature's wonder drink. What is that? A lot of us have heard about this. Endorphins. If people follow Lou Cotino or many people, they talk about this. What is this? The happiness drug. Every time you complete a task of any kind, your brain releases a small quantity of endorphins. This natural morphine gives you a sense of well-being and elation. It makes you feel happy and peaceful. It stimulates your creativity, improves your personality. It is nature's wonder drug. Like when we were back in school, a teacher validating us and giving us 100 on 100 or 10 on 10. Wow, the happiness we felt was amazing. Now, the same, much more quantifiable happiness comes to us when we achieve a task we set out to do. And we will never be able to achieve a task which others want us to do because our heart is not in that. The more important the task that you complete, the greater is the quantity of endorphin that your brain releases. Very much like a reward for success and achievement. Over time, you can develop a positive addition to the feelings of well being that you receive from this endorphin rush. Even when you complete a small task, you feel happier. When you complete a large task, you feel happier still. When you finish the various steps on the way to the completion of a large task, at every achievement, you get an endorphin rush. You feel continuously happy and exhilarated when you're working steadily towards the completion of an important job. So, we're being told to create the winning feeling. Everybody in the world wants to feel like a winner, be a winner, and feeling like a winner requires that you win. You get the feeling of the winner by completing a task 100% of the times. When you do this repeatedly, eventually you develop the habit of completing tasks that you begin. Practice makes a man perfect. So when you keep completing, then you are trained that what I start, I always complete. When the task of habit completion locks in, your life will begin to improve in ways that you can't today imagine. In psychology, the reverse is always true. The incomplete action is a major source of stress and anxiety. In fact, much of the unhappiness that people experience is because they have not been able to discipline themselves to follow through and complete an important task or responsibility. And this could be in any field. It doesn't really have to be success in finances or something else. It could be in anything or everything. So we have to be really, really up to it. What is the pain of procrastination? Now, people who are on call and people who are going to be listening to this online, I doubt any of you can say that I do not procrastinate in life. But let's understand the science. If you have ever had a major assignment that you have been putting off, you know what I'm referring to. हाँ कर लेंगे. Okay, बाद में करते. Okay, we'll do it. The longer you wait to get started on an assignment and the closer the deadline approaches, the greater stress you experience. It can start to keep you up at night and affect your personality. But when you finally launch into the task and push it through to completion, you feel a great sense of relief and well being. It is almost as if nature rewards you for everything that you do that is positive and life enhancing. At the same time, nature penalizes you with stress and dissatisfaction when you fail to do the things that move you towards the goals and results that are important to you. Now, there's something called a balance scorecard. One of the most popular movements in modern management is towards a balanced scorecard. Use these scorecards, every person at every level of the business. It's encouraged to identify the key measures that indicate success. and then to give themselves scores every day and every week in each of those key areas. Here's an important point: the very act of identifying a number, a score, and then paying close attention to it will cause you to improve your performance in that area. For example, if someone were to tell you about a meeting, before a meeting, that you were going to be evaluated on how well you listened in that meeting, your listening skills would improve dramatically within a few moments. You would listen far more carefully and attentively throughout the meeting because you know that this behavior is being observed. In the same way, whenever you select a goal, measure, or activity that is important to you, you begin observing or paying attention to it in your daily life, your performance in that area improves. One of the most helpful actions you take in your career is to set benchmarks, create scorecards, measures, metrics, deadlines for every task that you must complete on the way to one of your goals. In this way, you activate your subconscious forcing system. The forcing system will then motivate you and drive you at an unconscious level to start earlier, work harder, stay later, and get the job done. Now, there's something called close the loop. The third C after commitment and completion is closure. This is different. There's a very big difference between an open loop and a closed loop. Bringing closure to an issue in your personal or business life is absolutely essential for you to feel happy and in control of your situation. Lack of closure, unfinished business, and incomplete action of any kind are all major sources of stress, dissatisfaction, and even failure in business. They consume enormous amounts of physical and emotional energy. The key ability, perhaps the most important ability in the world of work, is dependability. There's nothing that will get you paid more and promoted faster than to develop a reputation for getting your tasks done quickly and well and on schedule. Whatever your goals, make a list of all the tasks that you will have to accomplish in the achievement of those goals. Put a deadline on every one of those tasks and work every day, every hour to hit your deadlines. Measure your progress each day as you go along. Speed up or slow down the necessary. But remember, you can't hit a target that you can't see. The greater clarity that you will have with regard to deadlines and measures, the more you will accomplish and the faster you will get it done. A goal or a decision without a deadline is merely a discussion. It has no energy behind. Discussions are not required. It is like a bullet with no powder in the cartridge. Unless you establish deadlines to which you're committed, you will end up firing blanks in life and work. Discuss, discuss, discuss. Nothing is going to come out of it. So, setting deadlines, goals are extremely imperative. Sometimes people ask, what if I set a deadline and don't achieve the goal by the deadline? Simple. Set another deadline, then another if necessary. Deadlines are best guess estimates of when the task will be completed. The more you set and work towards deadline, the more accurate you will become in predicting the time necessary to complete them. You'll become better and better at achieving your goals and completing your task on schedule every time. Eating an elephant. You have heard the question, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time. This metaphor applies to achieving any big goal as well. How do you achieve a huge goal? You accomplish it one step, one task, one measure at a time. Break your long term goals down into annual, monthly, weekly, even hourly goals. Even if your long term goal is financial independence, look for a way to break that down into how you're going to use each hour of the coming day in such a way that long term financial independence is far more likely. If you want to increase your income, you know that all income is a result of added value. Look at everything you do and then ask yourself how you could add more value so that you can be worth more than you're earning today. Now, let's identify the most valuable task. Go and ask your boss, what is that one thing do I do that is more valuable than anything else? Whatever his or her answer is, look for ways to perform better, more and more of that task and to get better and better at doing it. It's absolutely amazing how much you can accomplish if you break your task down into bite sized pieces, set deadlines, and do one thing at a time every single day. You've heard the old saying by The yard, it's hard. By bit, anything's a inch. All right, be a bit more patient. We have just about a couple of more pages and then this chapter will be done. So I hope you're writing your notes and, highlighting what you think is important. We anyways are going to be summing up the chapter. Continuous and never ending improvement. If you want to increase your hourly rate and your income, look for ways to get a little bit better at the most important things you do every single day. Read 1 hour per day in your field. This is important to hear, huh? People who read become very rich, which all of us are doing. Listen to audio programs on your way to and from work. Don't while them away with talking to family and friends. Listen to inspirational programs in your field. Very, very, very important. YouTube is full of them. So many resources, podcast lists are full of them. Take additional courses whenever you can. The learner in you has to be alive. These activities will propel your entire career into the fast track. When you invest an extra 1 or 2 hours per day in self improvement, the cumulative effect on your greater ability to get results can be extraordinary. Otherwise, what will we be? ऑफिस जा रहे हैं ऑफिस से आ रहे हैं रास्ते में ये बात कर ली वो कर लिया ऑर्डिनरी दैट्स नॉर्मल दैट्स वेरी ऑर्डिनरी पर वही जाने आने का टाइम अगर हम कर लें कि हमें सुनना ही है कुछ लर्न करना ही है nothing to something to learn something to imbibe then we're going to become really extraordinary. Get healthy and fit. Very important. A healthy body and a healthy mind leads to a lot of happiness. If you want to lose weight, there's a simple 5 word formula: eat less and exercise more. If you discipline yourself to eat a little bit less, but eat higher quality foods and simultaneously exercising a little bit more each day, you can get into the rhythm of losing 1 ounce per day. No matter how much you weigh today, if you lose 1 ounce each day, that will equal to about 2 pounds per month. 2 pounds per month will be 24 pounds per year. And in no time at all, you can refrain your body and your appetite so that you can lose the weight and keep it off for the rest of your life. Small, small measurable steps, but big difference in the long run, compounding, the effect of compounding. Save your pennies and the dollars will save themselves. Such an important learning again. If you want to become wealthy, begin to question every single expense. Set a goal to save $3 or 5 or 10 per day. Put this money away in a saving account and never touch it. As it grows, invest it carefully in well-chosen mutual funds or index funds. Make daily, weekly, monthly savings and investments into a habit and keep it up for the rest of your working life. In no time at all, you'll become comfortable living on slightly less than you're spending today. As your income increases, increase the amount that you can save. In a few weeks, a few months, a few years, you will be out of debt and have a large amount of money put away and working for you. A few years down the road, you will be financially independent. Isn't that remarkable? Just by saving $3 or $5 or $10 per day, putting it in an account, when saving a little chunk, investing it well, checking the income, what's having, monthly investment, monthly saving, daily earning, have I become better? And even when we become richer, our heart doesn't increase. We don't spend so much more because we start saving so much more. When we start saving so much more, we become better. Now, very important again, become a learned person. If you read 15 minutes each evening rather than watching television, rather than scrolling on social media, you will complete about 15 books per year. If you read in the great classics of English literature for 15 minutes each day, in 7 years, you will have read the 100 great books ever written. You will be one of the best educated and most erudite people of your generation. And you can achieve this by just reading 15 minutes each evening before going to bed. That's exactly what all of us are doing, right? Just before going to bed, we are reading about half an hour, 10 pages a day. And I hope we're not just reading it. I hope we're implementing this as well. Because to read a book is informative, but to live a book is transformative. So that's extremely important. Now, increase your income. If you are in the sales and you want to increase your income, keep careful track of how many calls, How many presentations? How many proposals? How many sales are you making each day, each week, each month at the present time? And set a goal to increase your number of calls, presentation proposals per day. Set a goal to increase your number of sales each week, each month, every day. Measure yourself against your own standards. If you measure it, you can manage it. What gets measured gets done. It's an adage which everybody uses for any single improvement thing. In each area of your life, analyze your activity carefully and select a specific number that more than anything else determines your level of success in that area. And focus all your attention all day long on that specific number. The very act of focused attention will cause you to perform better in that area, both consciously and unconsciously. If you want to be healthier, you could focus on the number of minutes per week that you exercise or the number of calories per day that you eat. If you want to be successful financially, you can focus on the amount you earn each hour or the amount that you save each month. If you want to be successful in sales, you could focus on the number of calls you make each day or the number of sales or the size of sales you make each month. If you want to be successful in your relationships, you can focus on the number of minutes that you spend face to face with the most important people in your life each day and each week. You have heard the saying, what gets measured gets done. There is another saying, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. People who say, pata nahi, haan, itna hua hoga. If people don't have facts and figures in their mind written down with clarity, then they're going to be vague. Then they can't be good managers of their life because they don't even know the basic facts. It's because it's not measured, because they've written down something and they've happily forgotten because they don't keep checking it. Your ability to set specific measures on your goals and then to keep an accurate record mentally and in writing, along with tracking your performance each day will ensure that you achieve your goals exactly when you've decided to, or even before. So, daily is a very important habit. This is my goal. This is my current state. This is what I have to do to improve. This is what I've done. Check, 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 check. Now, we're summing up this chapter. We'll take just 2 more minutes. Measure your progress. Determine a single measure that you can use to grade your progress and success in each area of your life. Refer to it daily. Again, number 1 point and the most important point. Number 2, determine the most important part of your job as it affects your income and measure your daily activities in that area. Number 3, set a minimum specific amount for daily, weekly, monthly savings and investments and discipline yourself to put away those amounts. Break every large goal into measurable, controllable parts and then focus on accomplishing each part on a fixed deadline. Make it a game with yourself to set benchmarks, measures, scorecards, targets, deadlines for every goal, and then focus on those numbers and dates. The goals will take care of themselves. Number 6, resolve to accomplish at least one specific part of a large goal each day and never miss a day. Now, this book is very inspiring, extremely imperative to follow. It's very nice that all of us listen to the book, but to live the book is very, very, very important. All right. Without further ado, let's get into the night ritual of our Lotus of Gratitude. Let's close our eyes. Get centered, balance, aligned by tuning into a wonderful breath. Take a deep breath in, fill your body with so much of love. As you exhale, release all that pent up anger or frustration or guilt or anything which is lack of love. Take another deep breath in and fill your body, expand your stomach and your being with expansiveness, with positivity. And as you exhale out, delete all negativity, all that shrinks you, all the limiting beliefs. Once more, take another deep breath in and let's expand our consciousness. Let's become learners beyond any power, beyond any substance. And as we exhale, we remove any misconceptions, any darkness which is of lack of knowledge. And let's bring together our left hand and right hand separately and make two tiny buds. And one by one, keep opening the petals, one finger each, and counting your 10 blessings. And today, all from last night from 24 hours. Let's take 100 seconds and circle back. So many blessings to count. So quickly we can count blessings, expand our being. Very important to be aware that life offers so many opportunities. Lost ones can also be tapped in by thanking the energy that it came as an opportunity. Being remarkable is something which is innate in us, innate nature in us. We are all so expansive in our consciousness, all so wise. We have lived so many lives before, and we're living such so many lives now, parallel realities, multitasking so many aspects of our life. And we all wish to become a better person, a better, tad bit better in every sphere of our being. With gratitude, we are so blessed and so grateful to our masters, teachers, ancestors, loved ones, gurus, mentors, in this realm or the other, in this dimension or the other, in this plane or the other, in this universe or the others, for showing their light, for nudging us, prodding us, guiding us, mentoring us. All we have to do is sit quietly and have a conversation, ask for guidance. Ask and we shall be given. Knowing this beautiful blessing, this truth, this universal truth, let's bow our heads in gratitude to the light beings for just being there with us, for showing us our life's purpose, our soul's purpose, and for enhancing and walking on that journey. And while we are doing what we are meant to do for our soul, may we be guided to become a better person, a better family member, or a person in the community to help others as well. And not forgetting that we are the most important in this journey. If our batteries are charged completely, then can we charge the batteries of others. But if we are discharged, it's just a pretense. But we also have learned fake it till you make it. So, very important for all of us to be in our journey of love, light, gratitude, and joy. With this, let's just be so grateful that the night has come. Let's call it a night and have a very good night. Sleep well, my dear friends, and I'm going to see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. before calling it another night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Be blessed.